Hi everyone, how's it going? What I have for you today is a floor sequence where we're going to be taking it a little slower, getting into a little deeper of a stretch through some yoga poses. So, as always, you know I love props. Today what you're going to need is, I'm going to give you an option to BYOP, bring your own prop, right? So because we're going to be doing a lot of seated forward folds and all these seated poses, right? Everyone has a different range of motion. I myself, you'll see as a practitioner, have a little less of a limited or more of a limited range of motion and my flexibility going forward. So I know I need a bit more height and support for my practice. So what I would recommend, right, at least 2 blankets and 2 blocks. If you want to have a strap or a bolster close by as well, or even a chair, right, even having a wall to have up behind you to give you a little extra support would be really helpful for this practice. But I'm going to be instructing with blankets and blocks, and I'll probably be using my strap. So again, just experiment, play, have some of these things. If you don't have any of these things, you can follow along to the best of your ability, absolutely, right? Continue to just listen and go through the motions just without the props. But once you have all of your things together and close by within arm's reach, then make your way to your favorite practice spot, and let's begin in a seat, right? So grab whatever you'd like to sit up on. Right, I'm going to go extra plush today. Go for my bolster. And I'm going to come to a cross-legged seat, right? So the reasoning behind having the support under the seat is to keep the pelvis a bit more upright, right? So now that there's this alignment and this sense of upliftedness throughout the entire upper body now. If you'd like, right, you can also slide some props under your knees if that gives you more support there. But again, we want to eliminate a lot of the effort today, just as if we would in a restorative practice. So some of these poses and some of these adjustments may look very familiar to being in a restorative class, which I do love that too. Right, so again, make this as comfortable and accessible to yourself as possible. So once you can find some physical stillness, go ahead and close your eyes. Right, and with this feeling of upliftedness, I want you to bring that feeling into the breath, right? So you can define that however you'd like. Right, and adjust your breathing pattern so it resonates with that feeling of upliftedness. And I'm going to ask you to shift your breath, right, just a little bit deeper, a little bit longer throughout the body, right? And so the breath stems from the low belly and rides all the way up through the chest. So we're now incorporating this full body breath, right, so to speak. And there's an evenness on the inhale and the exhale. So I ask that you carry this this feeling of upliftedness throughout your practice. And even though we're moving into forward folds that normally take on this energetic property of going inward. Right. So as you move inward, move into this more quiet space. Still allow this elongation, this openness, and this upward movement to come with you. And then after your next round of breath, return to a natural rhythm of breathing. And then go ahead and open up your eyes. All right. So what we're going to need is something again to sit on, right? So you can stay on the support that you're on, or you can move onto something else, but again, something that gives the pelvis that neutral upright position, right? So if you think of the pelvis holding water, it wouldn't be spilling forward or backward, but yet that it would just be uplifted. Right, so I'm going to come off my bolster and I'm going to switch to blankets. And I'm going to bring my strap just in case. Right, so like I said, find that support where you feel upright. And even, and elongate the legs, right? Flex the feet, right? And feel as if the feet are pressing into a wall. Right? If you have any difficulties here extending through the legs, you can also slide a blanket underneath the legs, or two blankets, to help bring the floor up to you. So again, those are supported as well. Just move these here just in case. All right, so we're going to come into a Paschimottanasana, right? So right now we're in a staff pose, right? Arms down by your sides, lift up evenly through front, back, sides of the trunk, right? There's this extension, this elongation from the pelvis, right, up through the crown of the head, right? So with those feet pressed into the imaginary wall, right, they just stay there, right? So you're going to hinge forward, right? Draw the low belly in, hinge forward, and start to fold over the legs as if you were in a standing forward fold. Right? Hands are going to come down to the ground, right? And lightly press the hands down. So depending on your range of motion, right? In a moment, we're going to make connection with either the feet or a strap and go even further, right? But for now, just take your hands onto the ground. And so light press of the hands into the ground beneath you. Lift the chest a little taller away from the pelvis. And see if you can fold just a little bit deeper. Right, so if you have the option to take the hands to the feet, right, then you'll have that push and pull action of the connection of the hands and the feet. If you want to keep the hands down on the ground, right, you also have the option to use a strap. But wherever that connection is, again, there's this push, right, energetically out through the feet, and then this pull of the upper body and the hands coming down towards the legs. Relax the shoulders, the muscles in the neck. Relax the belly. In a moment, I'm going to have you place an object under your head or under your trunk in between your legs, right, to again just help support you. If you're super flexible and you can go all the way down, right, I want you to retract a little bit and still use just a little something in between you and your body. It could even just be a blanket. So go ahead and lift yourself up, unhinge. Right, take your hands down by your sides. So you already kind of got a feel for where your range of motion is, right? So now you're going to stack your props accordingly. So whatever you may need. I know I need the full setup, full Cadillac, right? So for me, right, I'm going to need to bring as much forward as possible. So go ahead and place your props. And then we're going to come back to that staff pose, right? Sit up evenly. Right, exhale, fold forward. Take your time adjusting and setting up so that once you're down, you can just stay down. Right, rather you take all the time setting up so you can really just relax into this, feel into the shape, as opposed to getting in, coming out, getting in, coming out. And once you're down, right, the body's going to adjust. So you're going to spread, you're going to move. So just allow yourself that space to do so as well. But essentially, wherever you are, you do want a little bit of support under the chest, under the head, to keep that structure of the upper body coming in towards the lower body. Move into your breath. Match any sensations with your breath, right? Meet them in the middle. And then place your hands to the ground, right, or press them into your props. And then very slowly unhinge, sit yourself up. Right, once you're upright, just take a few moments. Allow everything to shift and settle. And then remove anything that is on top of you, just off to the side. Right, and stay seated on your support. Again, you may need to adjust, maybe not. And take your legs wider than your hips, right? Take them very wide. We're going to come into Upavishta Konasana. I'm gonna turn myself a little. Right. So again, take a moment, right? Get upright. You have a general idea of your range of motion, right? So this is going to be a little different, right? So have your props close by, and we're going to start to fold forward. So lift up evenly, and then exhale, fold forward. As you relax and sit in this pose, right, things are going to shift and change. You might see that you can go a little deeper. Right? Always better to move in baby steps as opposed to like diving head in, at least in this situation. So again, I'd rather see you take your time getting in than coming out, and then going back in, coming out, and readjusting that way. Right, so feel into your feet as if they're pressing into a wall. Lengthen from the sides of your waist. Allow the shoulders, the neck, everything to soften. Take a deep breath in, followed by a deep breath out. Walk your hands back towards your body, and press into the ground, and then sit yourself up. Again, take your time being upright. Move your props off your mat. Right, bring your hands to the backs of your legs, bend your knees, and then just bring your feet to the ground. Take a moment here, place your shins on your hands on your shins. You wrap your arms, your hands on your shins. Oh boy. So we're going to come down onto our back. And so I want you to bring either your blankets or a block with you. Right, and just place that towards the center of your mat. Right, and then come to sit up on your prop. Take your hands back behind you. Right, and then lower yourself down to the ground. Adjust so that your sacrum is fully supported by the prop. Walk your feet in towards your seat. Lift your legs up off the ground, or your feet up off the ground, and then extend your legs up towards the sky. Legs don't have to be perfectly straight, just as long as they're upright. And think of the feet in that same action, right, of like pressing into a wall. But then relax all the muscles in the backs of the legs, the lower back, right, the fronts of the legs, the front of the body, Just move all of your heaviness into the parts of the body that are touching the ground. Move into your breath, right? This even, elongated pace of breath. Bend the knees. Right, bring the feet to the floor. Extend the right leg long. Extend the left leg long. If this doesn't work for you, you can stay with the legs bent. But again, wherever you are, just allow all of your weight to move into your back body and heavy down to the floor. Step your right foot to the ground. Step your left foot to the ground. Lift your hips and slide whatever you're resting on out from underneath of you. Pause here. Roll onto your side. Use your arm as a pillow. Stay for a round of breath. Use your hand to press yourself up and keep your head and neck soft and the last to lift. Return to an upright seat and give yourself a moment to integrate being back upright. Take a deep breath in, followed by a deep breath out. Go ahead and open up your eyes. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. I would love to hear any of your comments, questions, feedback, all of your experiences on this journey. So thank you again. Enjoy the rest of your day and see you soon.